Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for rocking with me for 9 episodes of Copy That. I've had some incredible guests on this show so far, and I can't wait for you to see who will be joining us in the coming weeks. In the past few weeks, my industry friends have dropped so much wisdom about working in entertainment. Succeeding in this industry can feel so unattainable, and it has a reputation of being brutal. So it's helpful to get some advice from people who have been through the fire. For the next few weeks, I want to take some time to recap, highlight, and expand on all the invaluable tips shared by my guests. In this episode, I really want to focus on how to prioritize your well-being while working in the industry. Because I don't know about you, but I want to thrive, not just strive. Sure, this industry is tough and requires hard work to be successful. But success means nothing if you're not okay. It's so crucial to take care of yourself, even if you're working on set 12, 14 hours a day. It's not easy, but our guests share some advice on how to prioritize your self-care. Here's Natalie talking about work-life balance.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, completely consumed. Exactly your same experience with, when you're a PA, you're the first one there and you're the last one to leave, and don't complain because it's freelance.
Yeah.
So you're taking every job you possibly can because once you get in, you understand networking.
Right.
And what ended up happening to me, I felt even up to 2020, just say yes to everything and be completely consumed by it. And not until the pandemic was it woo.
The pandemic saved my life, y'all.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
It was so eye-opening that you don't have to be consumed by it, and how important it is to have to pursue things that are also important to you that aren't just your career, because I think, at least in my experience, it makes you resentful, and you feel like my whole life is dedicated to somebody else's project.
Yeah. What do you do right now for work-life balance? What is one of your things?
I do acrobatics, circus stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And then I've started reading a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Such a game changer. What do you do?
I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a reader. If I'm not reading a physical book, then I'm listening to an audiobook.
Yep.
I also like to go just do self-care stuff. Go to the spa, get nails done, something like that.
Yeah.
Or traveling. When I will just leave.
Bye.
It is time to get out of LA.
It's such a good way to balance it. I'm out. I'll be back.
Leave me alone for now.
I think reading is really good too. I want to say this. I wish I knew about this earlier on, just because it's not expensive. You can have work-life balance if you start reading.
Yeah. And here's Lori reminding us to take time and have fun.
We're making art. We should have some level of enjoyment, even when it gets hard.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's adults playing pretend. So we kind of have to keep that in perspective, even when we're trying to make sure that we're hitting the mark with the budget or the timeline or quality. We've got to find space to have fun.
Right. Right.
Because otherwise I'll just go and, work corporate and, not spend so many hours. Why would I want to be miserable all the time?
Right.
For playing pretend.
Right.
Balance is everything.
Yeah.
They say work hard, play hard. I think that's some pretty solid words to live by. Because you'll see those people that are workaholics to a fault, and those usually are the ones that become terrors.
Yeah.
In the work setting. Yeah. And they hold everyone hostage.
Oh my gosh,
way
don't
past
let you
time.
go home.
Yeah.
They don't understand balance. We can speak to that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've got to have balance. And I think you do some of your better work when there's balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you respect other people's time when there's balance.
Yeah.
Because you learn to respect your own. My new friend Jonathan lets us know to check in with ourselves.
It's so funny how, we think that gaining skills, is the thing that we need.
Right.
And then we go get the skills, and then we realize we still are lacking something.
Right.
And that's usually because we are not really dealing with the actual issue, which is a lot of it is a lot of times we're insecure about certain things. A lot of it is trauma from kid, going back to childhood, that aunt that said that you were ugly or whatever.
Whatever it is.
I mean, I remember for the longest I I didn't want to smile because I had an aunt tell me that I had ugly gums.
See?
You know what I'm saying? Like this, you know.
yeah.
And then one day I was like smiling at myself in the mirror and I was like, my gums are fine.
Who
you know what I
told
mean?
you? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's just little
Yeah.
things like that
And that stick with
that
you.
stay with you. You know what I'm saying?
Years,
That
yeah.
stay with you for
Yeah.
years. And I'm always one of those I'm one of those directors that, you know, people ask me all the time. They watch Sojourn and they'll be like, "Oh my God, how did you do this? How did you do that?" I'm not not about to talk about technical stuff. If you want to talk to me, you're gonna talk about real stuff. Because for me, in my opinion, people don't focus enough on the the actual issues of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be technically efficient all day and, you know how to use a red camera and know how to set your shots up and know how to get angles and blah, 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 blah. But if you are hurting, if you are deeply, if something is not right internally, it affects everything.
Yeah.
Your whole equilibrium is off.
And as Lori reminds us, it's okay to not be okay.
I hope that other people don't have to go through that, but you know, I do advocate for like being honest with yourself about where you are with mental health and not looking at those low points as a failing, just looking at it as you're being human. You know, I think especially in our field where it, you know, you think about acting, you're projecting an image, and so to have to peel back those layers and be real with yourself, like there's courage in that. Like that's not weakness. There's courage with that. I think part of like getting to better sooner rather than later is being able to admit when you're not okay. Like it can be really scary to say that because like we have a lot of language now, I think, more so than we did when we were in our 20s. Like there's a like it's a common thing now for us to talk about depression and anxiety and talking about you're not okay. So like just consider that a blessing that the language is out there.
Listen, you only get one you. In this industry, just like any other industry, a lot of times we get caught up in showing up for work and doing our most work and not checking in on ourselves, not seeing how we really feel. Bottom line is, if you fall out and die, your job is going to hire the next person. They'll feel bad for a little bit, but they're going to forget about you. So how about you prioritize yourself, take care of yourself, and just like physically and mentally, just know where you are. Now that you've got yourself together, let's talk about your circle. Who are you letting into your space? Who are you living with, working with, hanging out with? As you've seen throughout the season, I am blessed to know some amazing people. These people have kept me sane and lifted me up through some of the most difficult times. Like, I truly wouldn't be where I am without them today. So I think it's really fitting that one of the topics we kept coming back to on this podcast is the importance of surrounding yourself with some good people. Now let's get into some clips. My girl Trinity reminds us why having good friends is so key.
You have to be ready, honey, okay? You got to keep yourself around the right people because once you start getting around distractions, you know, Hollywood just not for everybody. You got to really be built strong. And when I say that, keep that foundation of a good support system around you because those going to be the people that's going to encourage you. They're going to be there in the times you need them. They're going to uplift you. And I can say at this point in my life, like, I'm really thankful for the village that I have.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
As Jamari says, give yourself grace.
But what I think I realize is that nobody's got it all together. You know what I mean? Nobody's where they want to be. It could be, I mean, like my friends that are extremely successful right now, there's something going on with them and they're not where they want to be either. So I think once you realize that we're all kind of in the same boat and we all are kind of living the same set of rejections, the same set of things, maybe the stakes are higher, you know? I think that helped me, but also I learned to give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Like give yourself grace and then keep people around you that's going to always remind you that you're okay, that's going to affirm you.
Right.
Like I would tell you, that's my love language, affirmations.
Yeah.
And so you keep people around you, they can be like, oh, you're doing okay. You know, give yourself grace. You're, you know, look at these things that you're doing well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this one thing might be in the bad, you know what I mean? Or it might be a negative, but look at all these positives.
Right.
So I think that is what helped me get through. So
Q lets us know how we can support others in our circle.
Someone recommending you for a job. Like I always tell people, like if you hear of a job that you know someone is great for, put them up for it. Like be a real human.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a competitive nature in this industry that makes it challenging for people to grow because people don't know how to people don't know how to like believe in other people and celebrate their wins and realize that like their wins are your wins.
Right. The right circle can push you far. So many of the people that came through on my podcast are my personal friends, and they have showed up for me by one, coming through and doing the podcast, or Q being true to her word, has spoken my name in interviews and got me the job I'm currently at. Wouldn't be there without her. So having these groups of friends who know, like, who can relate to what you're going through, who see how important that you are, and they can see your gifts, and they can speak to that, that's life-changing. It's transcending. It means everything in the world when you're down, and it's great to have, like, a group of people who will celebrate with you when you have your wins. So while we're talking about personal well-being, I think it only makes sense to bring faith into the conversation. For me, my faith is central to everything that I do. It's the thing that keeps me grounded in this crazy industry and city. Listen, I can't tell you how to live your life, but this is how I live mine, okay? I really enjoyed speaking with some of our guests about their personal faith journeys and how it's helped them while pursuing their dreams. Now listen, Jonathan came through with a whole word about faith.
But this is why I say that, like, you know, journey is so important. I'm a person of journey. Like, it's so important, and everyone has a different journey. It's, you know, you got to honor your journey and honor your process and the journey that you're on, because that all of that got me to right here, sitting on this couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When did you become confident enough to, like, step out and be like, I am a filmmaker, I'm a director, I'm going to do this project? How did that happen for you?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't give, you know, God his due praise. But basically, I kind of just I realized that I needed something, and I was like, what was lacking was God. I'm like, I need some God. But then I started realizing, I'm like, you know, I can have God in my way. It doesn't have to look like my parents or what they, you know. Right. It can be my own relationship. You know what I'm saying? Which is what it should be. Which is what it should be. Exactly. You know what I mean? And so I think first things first, I got that in order. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And then once,
as I said before, my faith is so important. It literally helps me inform my decisions. Like, I will pray and I will meditate before I do something. And somebody asked me, like, Twilla, how do you stay grounded, in your humanity and what you do while working in a place where, you know, you might find a lot of your personal beliefs challenged? And for me, I found the community. So I have my circle of friends. I also had a church home. I was active in my church, and that's where I grew a lot of my friendships. Some of the people that we spoke to on this podcast, I've met at church. For example, Terrell, and he's a great person. And those are the type of circles that, for me, just help lift me up. And sure, like, you know, it's okay. You'll find things that challenge you or that will have you questioning certain things. But I find that if I have a balance in my own personal life, then I'm able to face things that might feel like bigger challenges at work or in this industry. These discussions make it clear that you have to prioritize your well-being while working in entertainment. Sure, work hard, put in the hours to grow your craft, but don't forget that you are a whole person who also needs rest, fun, and community. I hope this recap has been as valuable to you as it has to me. Our guests have been dropping gems this entire season. Be sure to tune in over the next few weeks because we have so many more of these gems to share. Thanks for watching Copy That. We're available everywhere you listen to podcasts. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. If you have any questions for our future guests, let me know. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. Or you can DM me on IG at Twilla Amin. That's Twilla, TWILLAAMIN. It's been a pleasure, y'all.